Rob?
Hello everyone, welcome to Rob's Rogues and the BatmanUniverse.net. Today we're continuing on with the DC Comics Multiverse line from Mattel. This is of course from Batman vs. Superman, Armored Batman. I picked up Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman about a week ago, and Superman is going to my good buddy Stu Murray 47, and the Armored Batman was just staring at me, and I had to pick up this guy. Thought, well, I better get him now. I know they're going to be relatively very easy to get, but it was just something I really wanted to be able to pick up now before the movie comes out, and I can't wait to see this film. I'm hoping it's going to be as good as I think it is in my head, so hopefully I'm not setting myself up for failure. But I really kind of doubt it, just because I enjoyed Man of Steel, so I believe I'm going to enjoy this film as well, and kind of seeing how they mixed the Dark Knight Returns and other maybe famous Batman stories and Superman stories and maybe some Wonder Woman stories in as well. But this will be really cool. This is also part of the Collect and Connect line. It is the Grapnel Blaster replica. I think I've messed that up on every single one of these reviews. And this one is a really small piece, so I don't know entirely if I'm going to be able to put anything together still in this review. Hopefully it'd be nice to be able to connect something. That was something I think I complained about, I don't like to use that word. Something I had discussed once before. You get collect and connect pieces, and you still don't have some of the main things. One of the main pieces is in Superman's box, which is right here. It's the handle. So that'll be interesting once I can get my own Superman to kind of see how important the handle is to maybe being able to collect some things. The packaging is exactly the same. For the most part, there is the art rendering of what Batman, aka Ben Affleck, looks like in the suit. The write-up is exactly the same. So if you go back to the Wonder Woman review or Batman's review, you can read this write-up. I'll leave it there on the screen. You can pause it or whatever if you like. The back of the package, again, is exactly the same. That's what the Grapnel Blaster looks like. Again, it's kind of odd that they're doing a Collect and Connect gadget as opposed to a figure. I'm kind of torn. It's like, well, the blaster looks kind of cool. The grapple gun, a Collect and Connect actual figure would have probably been even better, but you know, it'll be interesting to see what this looks like once it's all put together. We only see the 4 figures down here in Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, and Armored Batman. It says there's 8 figures total. We know that Lex Luthor is one, and also a Nightmare Batman, and that leaves still 2 others that we don't know much about yet. I imagine we will closer to the time of the film. So, without further ado, we will get this guy out of package, and we will get a closer look at Armored Batman from the Batman vs. Superman film, and this is made by Mattel. We'll be right back in just a moment. Don't go anywhere. All right. So we've got this here, still set up from Superman's review. Here is Armored Batman's piece, and this is one I'm not sure where it is. Going back to the box, which is my only reference material, I'm going to be really crappy about this. It looks like I have the whole entire handle right here. I don't see where this is. It's not like it pins here anywhere. I really don't know. You can see where, we'll raise the camera up a little bit as I'm punching things around. You can see I've got a spot here where something snaps in, which I imagine is probably going to be the round part of the barrel here, or part of the chamber, whatever you want to call it. But this thing I've got no idea. I've got nothing, Jerry. And it looks like it has a defined like spot where something's going to go in through these holes and over through here, and there's nothing. Nothing at all. I mean, it looks like it can kind of sit there, but that's clearly not how that goes. The picture is almost pointing at something right here in this groove in the back to where number 4 is located. But I can't make out what I'm looking at all. So I don't know what to do with this piece. Probably because I don't have enough other stuff to put together for it. So a little disappointing on that end that I don't know how these pieces go together. So we'll go on with Armored Batman's review. All right, here is Armored Batman out of package. I don't know if it's a combination of the little base that I review my figures on and the table that I use. He does not want to stand very well. He was standing just fine downstairs in my figure room, so I'm just assuming it's just a combination of what I have here. The feet are a little on the loose side, but again, as far as you guys are concerned, I did the box review about a week ago, and I've had the figure standing up on my shelf for an entire week and hasn't toppled over or fallen or anything. But getting him up here on the review table, he's been a little tipsy up here, so if he does fall over, I'm just contributing it to my review space. So got that out of the way. I like the figure. I've seen people repaint this figure to kind of match more of the movie. It's just really kind of bland. The figure looks cool, but I think there's more detailing in coloring and shading going on in the actual suit in the movie than there is right here in the Mattel version. It's very much just a standard gray with a very few highlights, if at all. If there's any shading or a simple black wash on this figure might make it really pop out more. I don't think it's going to be as bland. We've already seen a lot of the images of the suit already, and even some Comic-Con and convention photos of the suit live and in person in a display case, and it looks better than what this figure is. So I've seen some customizers out there kind of punch up the suit a little bit as far as, excuse me, the hiccups, as far as the coloring goes on it, but I still enjoy it. I think it's pretty cool. It definitely, the Dark Knight Returns influenced here 100% in this suit. And it would make sense that they're pulling this suit out of that book to go toe-to-toe with Superman. So Batman does have a little bit more of a fighting chance. Here is the gun. Everybody's like, Batman doesn't use guns. He's going to use some type of gun to do something. This, I believe, is the gun that the standard Batman is holding in the beautiful Trinity shot in the trailer. There is still like a sniper rifle that I think is probably actually going to be like a grapnel harpoon of some type. It's going to be interesting to kind of see how and where this whole gun thing plays into effect. There's a good amount of detailing work just in the suit alone. Mattel did a decent job making this figure. Sculpting is really good, even on the gun. You can see some, battle damage marks and rivets. They did a really good job. As far as the paint apps, they're a little meh, I've seen people punch up the eyes a little bit and make them stand out a little bit more. We get the glowing eyes from Batman in this. You can see the damage that the helmet has taken. It looks more silver-ish. I think that's what they were trying to go for. This is odd. Look, product marking. Right there. Why on God's green earth on the outside? I don't know if that's a mistake. I didn't check Superman's cape, but the inside of Batman's doesn't have anything. I'm looking at Superman out. Yeah, there's Superman's cape. It's behind. So it's behind the body of the figure, but this one is on the shoulder of the figure. And I had this figure out of package for a week and didn't even notice it. I think I just kind of sat him up on the shelf and was done with it. So probably a little black marker is going to take care of that. I even did a couple shots recently and didn't notice it. There's some texturing in the cape, which I think is pretty cool. So I believe Mattel is paying attention to what they're doing. Just in their paint app, sometimes it's, I don't know, it's hit or miss. But a nice looking figure overall. And if Chapman Films were here, I would say, good job, Mattel. Good job with what you're doing. The paint, again, I'm kind of droning on about it a little bit. The paint should have been a little bit better. It just looks like a gray. Came out of the mold. There it is. Just some gunmetal or gold metal in this case on the belt. Some silver there. And that's about it for painting. If there's any type of a wash on this, it's very, very light. So there's the gun. You have to warp it a little bit to get it to fit in Batman's hands. Bruce Wayne got this in China. It says so right there. So this is cool. So I imagine this is going to be like a sonic pulse weapon like he used in The Dark Knight Returns to kind of throw Superman off balance. Or to fire at Doomsday or whatever. Lex. I don't know yet. So let's take a look at the articulation on this guy. The head looks left to right. Pretty much unobstructed. Got to get it up over the shoulders and keep it in frame. So he can look over his shoulders. Not too bad. Doesn't quite go all the way around 360. You can if you force it, but there's really no need to. Head doesn't look up or down at all, really, just due to the way the head is sculpted. Arms go up almost a full 90 degree. They can go all the way around. For the most part, you can if you kind of fold the cape back a little bit. There's a swivel at the bicep, single bend at the elbow, a swivel in the hand, rotation at the waist. It's got the T-jointed legs, forward and back. There is a Batmobile, so both of the Batmen can sit in them. Turn at the upper thigh, single bend at the knee, and a very hyperextended ankle hinge. So due to just the balance, this one's really kind of loose. So I believe that's where I've been having the problem with this figure on this review stand. So he wants to tip over. There he's kind of standing pretty good. Let's bring up Superman here and we'll get a closer look at armored Batman with the Man of Steel. I can't wait. I cannot wait. Can I say it again? I cannot wait. This is going to be fantastic. Just being able to recreate this little scene here with armored Batman and with Superman here in the Dark Knight Rises bat signal. This was a cool moment in the Comic-Con trailer that everybody just lost their minds. Oh, so close. We're almost there, folks. Enjoy it. Enjoy it while we're in this phase, because once it's here... Anyway. And, of course, the two look very good together. Of course, the whole line they're supposed to, so to be like, oh, they look off. Again, you can kind of see some of the limitations in the painting of the armored Batman just next to Superman that has some different shading and different things kind of going on there. But the two look really cool together. This would be kind of cool to kind of pair up all the figures from this line and deciding, who I'm going to put with where. There's going to be 3 Batmen in this line. So while we're on the subject of that, let's bring up everybody from this line so far. All right, here's the whole entire wave. Of course, we've got Superman here, Batman, Wonder Woman, and then the armored Batman. Each of them have their own little different articulation. The Batman figure, primary Batman figure, supports basically all of the main DC Universe Classics articulation, with having an ab crunch that none of the others have. The armored Batman is a little bit taller than the standard Batman, so that just might be a misstep in the manufacturing, or maybe it makes Batman stand up extra tall being in the armored suit. I like all four of them. I think it's been a solid wave so far. There's going to be 8 figures in total that are going to make up, at least as far as the grapnel blaster is concerned. Whether there's going to be any other figures beyond that, I really doubt it. I think there's probably only going to be 8. I was talking about it earlier that there's 2 Batman already in this line. There's definitely going to be a third with Nightmare Batman. We've already seen that image already at a toy fair. And Lex Luthor, a long-haired hippie Lex Luthor, is getting a figure made. So that is 6 figures, which leaves 2 more left, kind of out there. Is going to be a Bruce Wayne Clark Kent, which would be really kind of cool to have, a Bruce Wayne Clark Kent action figure. We don't get too many of those. A Lois Lane figure would be pretty cool. I don't know what different Superman you could do without making it gimmicky, unless he's in some type of suit. Are we going to get another General Zod? Are we going to get a Doomsday type of a figure? That probably could have been a Collected Connect. We haven't seen the full movie yet. Are we going to get a second Lex Luthor? So I'm kind of curious why we haven't seen the other figures yet in the line. And I kind of believe that's due to maybe not wanting to spoil something in the movie. Maybe we're going to get the Jason Momoa Aquaman figure. Well, that would be pretty cool to have. There's already an Aquaman figure out in kind of the $9.99 Total Heroes line already, so it's not like we don't know he's going to be in there. So I'm probably thinking it's like the Dark Knight Rises. They kept the Ra's al Ghul figure kind of a secret till after the movie was out, and then that figure finally came out. So I think it'll be probably right up until the movie, or sometime after the movie, that the final couple figures will come out, or we will start to see who and what they are. So I want to be able to show all these guys together and kind of give my thoughts, on the line as a whole. All right, final thoughts on this figure. It's cool to have. I believe it's one of the first armored Batmans that's a proper armored Batman that's a real thing. I don't think they've done one in DC Collectibles or DC Direct at all. I might be wrong, but I don't believe so. As far as a proper one, not like, all the different weird figures that start coming out after a while, like Underwater Sea Scuba Diver Batman. Yeah, we know that's not a real thing. So as far as to have a proper, actual armored Batman that's in canon with something, I believe this is the first of its kind. If I'm wrong, I'm sure somebody down in the comments is going to let me know. I think it's a cool figure. The paint apps are the only thing I think is really lacking on this figure, and if I was a pretty good painter, I would probably take it upon myself to do so. But nonetheless, it's cool to have the figure, and it's going to be even cooler to see how Batman uses and operates this suit against Superman. So today we've been taking a look at Armored Batman, the 4th figure from the Batman vs. Superman line from Mattel's DC Comics Multiverse line. And as always, this is Rob for Rob's Rogues and the Batman Universe signing off, saying we'll see you guys next time.